Channel, Eurovision, all things Europe, Nations League, Euros, FIFA WC qualifiers. Goal Plus Africa, Africa's Heartbeat, AFCON, CHAN, COSAFA Cup, FIFA WC qualifiers. Libertadores Vision, South America Uncovered, Copa Libertadores, Copa America, WC qualifiers. Silk Dynasty, Asia Spotlight, Asian Cup, WC qualifiers. Harambee Stars Unleashed, everything about Kenya's national team. When club football dominates, we go deeper, United Frontline, the ultimate Man United fan experience. Echoes of Anfield, Liverpool like you've never seen it. House of Galacticos, Real Madrid Uncovered. Premier League Game Month Show, Stats, Analysis, Insights every 4 game weeks. Champions Crystal Ball, UEFA Tournaments, Club World Cup, Super Cup Predictions. Final Whistle Debate Show, the hottest sports topics debated by experts, every 6 weeks. Deal Paranoia, transfer window coverage you can't miss. And for weekly predictions? We cover everything, Premier League, Championship, FA Cup, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, DStv Premiership, T20 Cricket, F1, Women's Super League, international tournaments, and much more. Why subscribe? Because we don't just show games, we predict, analyze, debate, and break the stories that matter. From transfers to tactical battles, from managerial appointments to live watch-alongs, Football Overseas gives you the edge no other channel does. This is your hub for global sports, where every match counts, every opinion matters, and every fan belongs. Subscribe, join the debate, and fuel your passion.
Yo, big up, guys, and that's like it says in the intro. The game doesn't wait, and neither should you. Make sure you subscribe to the Football of CC channel. And for those new to the channel, welcome to the Football of CC channel, your favorite sports app where passion meets sports. And let's begin with our transfer window show, the Verona. This is where we segment and deal with every big transfers in the big 5 leagues. Obviously, every transfer window, there is an opportunity for big clubs to act like scavengers and vultures and to scavenge those good players that are unlucky to be going down to the second division next season. And that tradition has always carried on. And this episode will be seeing each we'll be seeing what what players will be part of this summer 2026 scavenge hunt. It's mostly like what do you call it? It is relegation transfer opportunities, and we'll talk about it right now. Yeah, let me open my table. I put the player on top of it. Share my screen. How do I share my screen? Yeah, so for those watching, we start off with the first club. First club is for the relegated, and we start off in the Premier League. The relegated clubs are West Ham, Burnley, and Wolves. And we start off with Wolves. Wolves, this is the financial reality. For Wolves, they finished the Premier League with 10 points. Their relegation is mathematically near certain. That means Wolves has a 100 million plus revenue loss. This is from Premier League TV money that drops from 120 to 20 million in EFL Championship. Um, The parachute payment that Wolves receives of 45 million per year for 2 years is not enough to cover the wage bill. It means Wolves needs to clear players off the wage bill because that 45 million per year is not enough to cover the wage bill, the huge wage bill that Wolves have. And Wolves' wage bill is a normal wage bill for is a normal wage bill for EFL Championship for a Premier League club, but not a normal wage bill for a EFL Championship club. So for Wolves, they need to clear that. Another thing is Wolves needs Wolves needs immediate liquidity pressure. They need to sell to survive FFP and PCL compliance. Yeah, so that's why Wolves needs to sell. I don't know why. Okay, I think that works now. Yeah, then I then move this. So that's a financial that's a that's what Wolves are going to country, and unless I move this chart, then I make this into content. No, like this. Yeah, now that's better. Yeah. So that's what Wolves are going to country right now, and yeah, that's a financial reality. Players too. So that means players that Wolves can sell is people like Joao Gomez. Joao Gomez is about Joao Gomez is one of those players that Atletico Madrid are looking at, and each other club. Mm. He is a CDM as well. Yeah, Atletico Madrid is looking at this club. The primary club looking at John Gomez. Also, we have other clubs like Crystal Palace. He was previously linked to United. He was is Liverpool is monitoring this situation. They monitored the players' profile in the past. Napoli and Atlanta they expressed previous interest in previous transfer windows as Gomez availability became apparent. Yeah, so it is someone to look out for. I think for Wolves, they are initially going to ask for they initially going to ask for 50 million, but due to being relegated and those things, you can get the ball. I believe you can get the baller for 35 to 40 million if you can negotiate hard. And Atletico Madrid, I think they agreed around 45 M, but the issue is now is not with the club. The issue is with the agents. That's what Atletico Madrid issue is with now. But it is a limbo that Joao Gomez is going to, but he should be someone that you should look out for. Going this long, I feel like he will be sold and he'll be a good player. Maybe not as a, yeah, maybe not as a maybe not as a starter, but as a backup option. Yeah. Another option, another good rotational player is Andre, Wolves Andre. And Andre has been linked to clubs like Juventus, Liverpool, and Bayern Munich. Juventus has heavily been linked to Andre as they look to revamp their midfield to compete for CL title. United was monitoring him following recommendations from players like Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, and former Wolves forward Cunha. Wolves were also linked to him because they have been a long time admirer of the player, tracing back to his time at in Brazil. Bra- by Munich, that's keeping tabs on his availability in this transfer window. Yeah, but I don't think they'll sign him as such. But that's keeping tabs. And I know Wolves, the initial asking price, if it was if it was going to be sold, was going to be 26 to 30 million. But I think with relegation, Wolves will be willing to sell with for 20 to 23 M. Yeah, and that's a realistic asking price for him. Another player is Pedro Lima. Pedro Lima is a upcoming. Is he? Can I say upcoming? Yeah, he's upcoming left back, right back. Yeah, he's a Brazilian right back. Um, Clean tackler. He got two. He played 2 matches, 9 matches. He had played actually quite little matches, and he's right back. Now this is an issue where it is quite interesting. Yeah, well, for Wolves, they plan to keep him in the FL Championship squad, but there have been interest for this player. The player has been interest. There have been interest from Brazilian sides, Atletico Mineiro and Palmeiras. While there's strong interest for a loan or permanent deal, but the Wolves management plan to keep him in the squad to compete at Milex. Um, the Electrical we now had offered a 4 million by option to buy, and Palmeiras had viewed the right back as a major priority for squad reinforcement. Right back, if for Wolves they need the money, so this is a normal deal. If someone comes with 10 to 12 million, I think Wolves should be willing and able to sell. And I think that's why 4 million is why Wolves are refusing, because that is too little for Pedro Lima, considering his potential. The initial asking price was going to be to sell him was going to be 12 to 15 million, but due to him being relegated, it's going to be 10 to 12 million. Another one is Matthias Men. Matthias Men is a winger that has been linked in the January window. He was linked to United, heavily linked to United, and clubs monitoring him have been Liverpool and Newcastle. Newcastle United have a strong interest and are considering the move, though they're hesitant to meet the 30 million asking price. Wolves have been tracking, no, Liverpool have been tracking the player as a backup option to the Monday. That's in case the Monday deal falls. They are, yeah. Um, Juventus, Dortmund, and Frankfurt, they're monitoring the situation, while Juventus have strong interest in Portuguese youth international. Yeah, but the other ones are just monitoring. So I think the initial asking price was going to be 50 million, but I think if you're good at negotiating, you should be able to negotiate down to 35 to 40 million for the upcoming player. His sale value, if you ask me, is 25 M, but 35 to 40 M is what you're paying for a relegated potential right now. It is realistic price considering, yeah. Another player is Rodrigo Gomez, 15 to 18 million. 15 to 18 million. I feel like he's Portuguese, Brazilian. He's Brazilian, another Portuguese guy. Wow, okay. In this episode, we're talking more about the Portuguese players. Yeah, Wolves, Tottenham attacking Rodrigo Gomez for a potential move following Wolves' relegation. Prior to his move, Atletico Madrid and Portuguese clubs showed interest in the winger. He's a good winger, upcoming winger. I think he can be a rotational option for one of these big clubs. Yeah, hard worker, pacey, similar to Matthias Man. Yeah, and despite Wolves' drop to the EFL Championship, he has, he has promised to give his all if he stays at Mulex for the upcoming season, but has admitted his future could be in the balance. Yeah, he has a contract until 2029 with Wolves, and for Wolves, yeah, that's something to look out for. 15 to for Rodrigo Gomez, I'll say 15 to 18 million uh is something that Wolves will ask for to if they are going to sell him. But right now, considering the relegation and everything, they'll be willing to ask for 10 to 15 million if you can push it down. Yeah. No more deal is Faroples. Fia Lopez has been a player linked to. He has been a player that has struggled at Wolves. Even if Wolves was going to stay in the even if Wolves was going to stay in the Premier League, he was going to be linked with a move out. So he has struggled due to physical demands of the Premier League, limited playing time, and the team struggle as a collective. He was signed for 19.5 million from Celta Vigo, and he prompting a January loan return to Spain, where he's playing his minutes there. He's a unique technical gifted player, but he fits into a different system. He he wasn't ready for the intense physicality, his lack of consistent minute and team-wide issues as well. So clubs interested in signing are demotivated. For Lopez, he could be a player that could be there. He's an attacking midfielder player, and these are clubs interested in signing him. We have people like Celta Vigo. Prior to his 19.6 million, he spent a loan return there, and he why and Celta Vigo is interested in bringing him back permanently now. And also championship clubs due to lack of regular minutes following his move to have considered offering. Yeah, so it could be championship clubs, but I doubt now. Yeah, another player. Now these are players that are currently on loan at Wolves. These are ballers that you could. I think this one I can remove because Wolves signed him permanently. Yeah, so Angel Gomez is a player that that clubs should be after him. He was a good player, upcoming player at United. Yeah, and He's attracting interest from Premier League clubs, Coventry Premier Club Hull City, Crystal Palace, Spanish giants like Atletico Madrid, and yeah, Premier Club like Coventry City, Hull City, Crystal Palace, and Spanish club Atletico Madrid. He, yeah, they both. So he's 25 years old, and he should be someone that clubs should be after him. He's upcoming, has great potential. He is going to be a good starter for those small clubs. For the big clubs, he'll come off the bench. But though I'll advise him to go to a smaller club for the sake of his confidence, not these big clubs. But it is a good deal to look out for. I think for Wolves, they have a buy option of 5.8 to 6.1 million. I don't think Wolves will likely activate that because of lack of funds. And the asking price for other clubs would be 10 million to 40 million. A bargaining chip is 9 to 12 million if you approach Marcel. No, is it Marcel? Yeah, if you approach Marcel before end of June, before June. But if after June you approach Marcel, it will be 15.2, 12, 20 million, which is not a bad deal to be honest. And it is signing a good player at a lower price who has great potential. He does need confidence to break out, and he should go to those clubs. Another, yeah, now we're done with Burnley. With Wolves, we're going to Burnley. Burnley is a yo-yo club. This is a second relegation in 3 seasons. That means there's no parachute payments from last time remaining. Revenue collapse has been there's a revenue collapse from 120 million to 20 million. The owner Alec Capital is under serious financial pressure. They've been spending heavily trying to stay up, but that debt doesn't disappear. PCR, PSR, and FFP co-pilot will have to force sales, and yeah, it will not just encourage them. And this is actually worse than Wolves financially because Burnley have less squad depth to sell and are more desperate to sell it. So that's why Burnley is in a worse situation than Wolves. Wolves have squad depth to sell and are not desperate. Burnley are desperate to sell. Players just look out for uh players like Esteve. Esteve, Burnley will have asked for 50 million, and Burnley will be willing to listen to offers as low as 35 to 40 million because of the situation. Let me even search which clubs are interested in. Mm, yeah, he has had an impressive campaign. Liverpool and Chelsea. Chelsea want to buy the player back. Liverpool are interested in buying him as a rotational option. They are looking at him as backup option. Crystal Palace, Everton are also keeping tabs on him. Abroad, Leverkusen and Bayern Munich are monitoring the French defender, while Tottenham have refired their previous interest in the player. Yeah. And Burnley value him at 50 million. Each I doubt is worth 50 million to be honest. I think Burnley will listen to offers as low as 35 million to 40 M. Yeah, he can negotiate that low and he's worth that. but he has had an impressive campaign, and Burnley is desperate for funds, very very desperate for funds. So I don't think they're in the negotiation. Do not have the cheap negotiation chip that Wolves have, because Wolves are not desperate. They have parachute payments that they can use to survive here and there. So Wolves can can play s- tough negotiators when selling the players, but Burnley cannot. So if a club is trying to lowball them at 35 to 40 m, Burnley will be willing to listen to that offer for Esteve, despite his impressive campaign. Another player, he was signed. Esteve was signed from Sporting. My bad. Another player is El Ogochoku. El Ogochoku as was signed, I think, from Chelsea. Yeah, he was signed from Chelsea. It was one of those CSS that Chelsea had. Yeah. Mm, yeah, there's no current clubs interested in him though. Before he finalized his deal to go to Burnley, Valencia had interest in him. Hamburger had interest in him. Although they wanted a loan deal, but Valencia wanted a loan deal as well, and none of them are interested in him as a permanent player. So I think it's one of those things that will be harder. It's one of those defenders that will be harder to sell. But if there's any club interested in him, Burnley will initially ask for that 25 to 30 m, but they'll be willing to listen to offers to sell for 20 to 30, 23 m. But he's a good quality player for the AFL Championship side. He'll help Burnley to get promoted. Yeah, but the issue is that, yeah, so next man is Hartman. Hartman is, I think for today I'll do Premier League. Next time I'll do La Liga. Yeah. So Turkish clubs is Espanyol and Biscuits are primary clubs interested in a move for the Burnley left back Hartman. Following Burnley's relegation back to the AFL Championship, the Dutch publicly confirmed his intentions to leave Turf Moor this summer, which means the left back is up for sale. Yeah, Burnley is playing hard. Burnley is playing hardball for 18 to 22 m, but we all know Burnley will be willing to sell the Paga for 13 to 17 m. But since there's a transfer war, bid that will help Burnley, and if it was only one club interested, Burnley will have sold for 13 to 17 million. But since there's a transfer, there could be a transfer, what do you call it, transfer auction going on. He could be sold to make money or eke money. So that is that 6 m to 40, that 6 m to 44 m around there. Yeah. Another player is Amadoni. Amadoni initial asking price was 16 to 17 m. That's what Burnley will ask for to sell the player. But will there be interest in the player? Let me search. Amadoni. Yes, there's interest. Yeah, so Amadoni Following his recent return from his loan spell at Benfica, the Swiss Amadoni has drawn interest from Turkish clubs. Biscuits, they're in advanced talks with Burnley. Yeah, the Burnley initially wants 20 million because Biscuits found this figure too high. They're exploring alternative avenues such as a loan deal. Other potential suitors are Benfica, but Benfica is still deciding whether they want a permanent basis or a new loan. Yeah, so it looks like Cheddar Biscuits is on the option. Yeah, so for Amadoni, asking price is 16 to 17 M. Burnley will be willing to sell as low as 10 to 13 M. Yeah, Burnley is desperate for cash and Burnley needs the cash. Another player is, I don't know whether this player was signed permanently. Let me search. Original Leos. Yeah, that player was signed permanently. Yeah, so Matchbury United has a buyback option in the deal with Matchbury and a 50% sell on clause profit. Burnley's asking price will be considering that Burnley's asking price will be considering that they'll lose 50% of in the transfer profit, so they'll ask for 16 to 20 million and they'll not move from that because of the 50% sell on clause profit that United has. Now the question is who is interested to sign Angel Gomez because I'll love Angel. I love Medjugorje because I love Medjugorje to be sold for United to get some of that profit. There's no interest from clubs currently right now as he plays for Burnley. Yeah, the club is not looking to sell him. I know other team has openly been linked to acquiring him. So yeah, another player is Humphries. Chelsea have an undisclosed sell-on clause, and because of that, Burnley's asking price to sell him will be 14 to 17 M. It is a special case because there's no discount you can get from that, and there's no active clubs interested in the player. Yeah. Villa's buyback option for Aaron Ramsey was was undisclosed. Villa's asking price for other clubs. Villa's asking price. Is it meant to be Villa's asking price or oh he's at loan at Villa? Yeah, actually that one I don't get. But anyway, so I think he's at loan at Villa or whatever club he's at loan at. Yeah, so there's currently no formal bids to sign him permanently. So yeah, we'll move on. Now this is a unique deal because it is a straight loan at Burnley. There's no buy option that Burnley has. So there's no Burnley involvement. So in with both players, but yeah, Burnley owns him and paying majority of his weekly wages. That is James Ward-Prowse. He's a good player for any club to sign as a rotational backup. And West Ham are 18th and are also facing relegation. They're desperate to sell and clear wages. West Ham's asking price could be 5 to 8 million, but a bargaining chip if before June, but that's already passed. Bargaining chip after June will be 4 to 6 million. He returns to West Ham today. Yeah, so that's the issue. Another player. So now we have gone to West Ham's financial reality. West Ham's situation is worse than Wolves and Burnley because London costs London Stadium costs massive much the infrastructure that they can't downsize easily. David civilian area of overspending left lasting debt. They have been they've been heavily spending on players like Wan Bissaka, Todibo, and Matias Fernandez in 2024-2025 trying to stay up. And yeah, and the collapse from 20 million to 20 million means there's no parachute payment history. They haven't been relegated recently, so there's no financial muscle memory for survival. Mm, PCL and FFP compiles will force immediate sales, huge high wage bills, multiple players on 50k, 100k per week that are simply unsustainable in the FL Championship. So West Ham are selling for number one, the wage bill, number two, the revenue collapse, and number three, the stadium costs. Yeah, that will force West Ham to sell the players. Good players that you should ask him for is Jarrod Bowen. He has experience in the Premier League, and players like Bowen will be and fast will be a fire sell. He'll be initial asking price if West Ham was in the Premier League still was going to be 100 million plus, but West Ham would be willing to listen to offers of 80 million to 90 million. Yes. Another player is the centre back, Todibo. Todibo initial asking price will be 33M to 38M. West Ham will be willing to listen to offers of 28 to 32M. West Ham are trying to get 150M quickly and they're desperate more than they think. Initial asking price for West Ham for Somerville was 70 million. West Ham will be willing to listen to offers of 50M to 60M for Somerville, and right now they're negotiating within that range. Um, P. Philip, initial asking price for the player is 24M to 28M, but they'll be willing to listen to low offers of 20 to 23M. Yeah. For the goalkeeper that they signed from Leicester City, the initial asking price, if they were in the Premier League, was going to be 20 to 25M, but now they'll be willing to listen to offers of 16 to 19M because it is a fire sale. Now, these are unique deals. Yeah. Matias Fernandez, West Ham paid 38 million in August 2025. Southampton retain a 15% sell-on clause on future profit above 42M. Yes. 21-year-old, 85 potential, a 5-year contract until 2030. It means West Ham has a lot on the cards. 15% sell on barely distorts the negotiation, unlike Annabelle's Midgebury United's clause, sell on clause on of 50%. On a 50 million sell, West Southampton will only receive 1.2M. Um, West Ham keep virtually everything. The asking price is arcad purely by what they paid months ago, and they won't accept a significant loss on the marquee summer signing. And West Ham's asking price of 45 to 50 million, and they'll not move from above that. From that, I think it was due to Tottenham that was interested, that created a, what do you call it, created an auction, and now West Ham inflated those prices to 8 million. But if it was just one club, for Matias Fernandez, West Ham will be demanding 45 to 50 million around there. Yeah. Another player is the striker. This is a unique deal because of the sell-on clause that New York City FC have. West Ham paid 25.2 M in January 2026, just months ago. And 27-year-old Argentinian striker contract until 2030 signed as part of a January blitz save the season, to try to save the season each as well. 75k wages, which is completely unsustainable in the EFL Championship. New York City hold a 15% sell-on clause on a 30 million sell. New York City will receive like 700k above the 25.2 base. Yes, and minimal distortion is similar to Southampton clause on Matthias Fernandez. Initial asking price will be 28 to 32 million pounds, but West Ham will be willing to listen to offers of 24 to 27 million. And yeah, the relegation discount is almost zero here because they have signed it months ago. So the psychological anchor is family at 25.2 M, and they won't accept below that on a January signing that they signed recently. The only leverage a selling club, a buying club will have is that 75k championship wages makes it impossible to keep forcing their hand on a quick sell regardless of the fee. Yeah, another player, this is a fast sell, is Diouf. Diouf won an African tournament at the age of 21, while West Ham are being relegated. He's not being glopped. He's not glopping. He's not glopping to the AFL Championship. His camp would be fielding calls from elite clubs across Europe the moment relegation is confirmed. Each has been confirmed. This makes more this makes him more expensive, not less. West Ham paid 19 million in in July 2025. It is a great opportunity. Just 8 months ago, AFCON winner at 21 has increased his value significantly beyond the purchase price. He has a great potential, international experience. A contract until 2030 gives West Ham full control over first market sell rate from scouts. It actually means a competitive bidding, not fire sale. Scenario one, he forces a move once relegation is confirmed. Yeah, activate immediately. European clubs will be queuing up, and West Ham run a structured sale process, and price climbs well above the purchase price. And number two, it's either number two, he forces a move, or two, number one, he forces a move. Number two, West Ham forces to sell him because they know they can't keep AFCON winner in the championship, and they'll sell him in May to June before the market fully opens. So initial asking price will be 30 to 35 million pounds, but West Ham will be willing to listen to offers as low as 25 to 28 million pounds. But this could go up to 90 to 60 to 70 million pounds if West Ham have a bidding war. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is an unique deal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is they paid 50 million in August 2024. The 7-year-old Hammer of the Year of 2024-2025. He has a contract until 2031. There's no sell-on clause reported from United, and significant off-the-field complication is FIFA investigation is ongoing. If Nigeria's appeal succeeds and the LC Congo are eliminated from SP, they were not. Yeah, I think I'll delete this one because yeah, I'll delete this one. Yeah, another one is Edson Alvarez, West Ham Fenerbahce. West Ham paid 35 to 44 million for from Ajax in 2023. He's currently on loan at Fenerbahce with a 18.5 million purchase option until 2028. His contract is until 2028. They desperately want him off the books, and his ankle in surgery in 2026, expected return in March 2031. And the manager who signed him was replaced by Tetsko. The manager who wanted Alvarez is gone. Texco inherited him. He played him 17 times before getting injured, and Fenerbahce finding 18.5 million too steep for an injured player signed under previous regime. The new manager with no personal attachment to the player. Fenerbahce will not be attracting, not be legalizing the option of 18.5 million. It means Alvarez returns to West Ham in June, injured and wanted, and on 100k to 115k wages at a relegated club with 2 years left on his contract. Ajax, Ajax are reportedly interested in a return, but West Ham paid that 5.4 million in market value. Current market value is 14.7 million, but they're selling at a massive loss regardless. So West Ham's asking price would be 18.5 million, but forced to accept 13 to 16 M due to circumstances. Another player is Magassi. Magassi West Ham paid 17.3 M from Monaco in August 2025. He has a 6-year contract until 2031, and his market value is from 14.5 to 16.8 million. Is It is already slightly below purchase price. Yeah. Monaco retains as 10% sell-on clause on future profit above 17.3 M, but minimum impact. Yo, is there any? Yeah, but there's minimum impact on. I don't know why I'm reading, but there's minimum impact on. Where was I? Minimum impact is similar to Southampton's clause on Fernandes. Yeah, there's low wages of 35 to 43k, meaning there's no financial pressure to sell him specifically, but the pressure, but yeah. So West Ham will be willing to sell him for 13 to 20 m, but they are not in a rush to sell Makasi. But a player of his quality will not want to go to EFL Championship. Yeah, I think is that. Oh, okay. So we'll finish up this. So Scales, upcoming player, 22-year-old, left back, contract until 2028. His market value has risen from 8 million to 13.4 million in just months, following emergence as a first choice starter. There's no sell on clause. He's a pure West Ham asset. He's a homegrown product, so there's no purchase price fee to anchor a guest. Um, His 825k annual salary is extremely manageable, meaning less pressure to sell compared to the rest of the squad. Relegation is the only reason this sale will happen. And a healthy West Ham will hold him for 34 million, 34 seasons, and will sell him at 30 million plus. A relegated West Ham cannot offer a 20-year-old graduate championship football when its value is value is rising rapidly. And initial asking price will be 20 to 25 million, but they'll be willing to sell him at 15 to 18 M. Now, Potts is another academy product similar to Scales. His market value has surged from 1.4 million to 8 million in just 6 months following his Premier League breakthrough. He is viewed internally as they can rise long-term successor. That cooperation alone tells you how highly West Ham rates him, and there's no purchase fee that to anchor against he's a pure homegrown asset. 780k annual salary, extremely low, meaning minimum wages pressure, there's minimum wage pressure to sell. Relegation is the only reason West Ham is this will happen. Healthy West Ham will hold him for 4 to 5 seasons and then sell to at 40 to 50 million, falling the Rice blueprint, but a relegated West Ham cannot keep a Rice successor in the EFL Championship, so that will intend West Ham to sell him. Initial asking price will be 20 to 25 million, but they will be willing to listen to offers of 15 to 18 million. Now, this is an interesting case. The RC with Chelsea as West Ham. He's slated on loan from Chelsea at West Ham. There's no buy option, which means that has it expires in May 2026. Chelsea own him entirely, and fans are calling for the 30 million plus permanent deal. But Chelsea set the price, not West Ham. Slow immediate impact. It is 3 clean sheets in 4 appearances. Chelsea's asking price will be 22 to 33 million, but after June it will be 26 to 30 million. Yeah, but apart from that, I think that brings an end to this stream. It was the Premier League version. Yeah, I think I'll do La Liga next week, and I'll stretch these things out as time goes. Apart from that, make sure you subscribe, like, share. I'll say, guys.